Okay, this video is going to show how to score a cross-country meet. So as we look at the results here, this column right here is the overall place of each runner. So that does not count towards their team score. But the points column is what's used to count towards the team score. Now, in order for a runner to get a ranking in the points column or the scoring column, a school must have at least 5 runners to be scored as a team. So as you can see, Christ Lutheran does not have a ranking in the scoring column. You know, St. John Bosco does not. St. John 23rd doesn't. That's because those teams have fewer than 5 runners in this particular race. And so in this column then, only 5 to 7 runners on a team are ranked in the points column. And so if we look at St. Simon and Jude, for example, here's their first 4 runners right here, and then their 5th runner, and then as we go down further, there's their 6th runner is right here, and that's marked in the points column, and then the 7th runner is marked in the points column. But the 8th runner is not, and the 9th runner is not. So those only 7 runners from a team are involved in the points column or the scoring column. So essentially what we're doing here is we're taking only the schools that have at least 5 runners, and we're taking only up to 7 runners on each of those teams and putting them all together and scoring them. Now this is how they're scored. What happens is, is if we look up here, is only the first, oh boy, I didn't want to do that, only the first 5 runners for a team count towards the team score. Only the first 5. And so if we look at St. Jude's score, they have their first 4 runners, or their first 5 runners, go 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 12th. And so if you add all those together, you'll get let's see, you'll get 5, 10, 14 plus their 12th place person. So they have 26 points for their team. And you'll notice then if you look down at their number 6 and 7 runner, of course there's a 28. Well, that doesn't affect their score, and 34, that doesn't affect their score. So what is the purpose of the 6 and 7 runners? Well, those are called displacers, and they can affect the scores of other teams. That's their only purpose. And so we'll demonstrate that by looking at St. Francis and St. Louis the King. So what happens here is we have St. Francis, who had so their score is based on their the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th runner. So right here is where their score is calculated with those rankings of those first 5 runners. Now St. Louis the King, of course, they have their 5 runners, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But notice that in between 3 and 4 is the 6th place runner, or this number 6 runner for St. Francis. Now if that St. Francis, if that number 6 runner did not run, then each of these runners would move up 1. So all the runners after them would move up 1 space. In other words, this number 6 runner displaces the runners after it, causing their scores to be 1 point higher. So so because number 6 runner for St. Francis is there, the number 4 runner, instead of getting a 21, their score is a 22. So their score is worse by 1 point. But there's even another runner here that they still have 2 more runners that's whose points or whose rankings count towards the score. And so their number 5 runner should, would have been a 23 if the number 6 runner for St. Francis weren't there. And so their score is, so that's another point that makes their score worse. So their score, the St. Louis the King score, is 2 points worse because of St. Francis Xavier's number 6 runner who acts as a displacer. Now, the number 7 runner doesn't affect St. Louis the King's score, okay, because it comes after their number 5 runner. So that's basically how it works. Is their top 5 runners for each team and their places, that's what counts towards the team score. And that should do it.